For almost a decade on my TV show Interview with Ed, I've been interviewing extra-dimensional beings and consciousnesses from a number of different realms. Many of my questions have been answered, but with every answer comes more questions. Join me on my ongoing quest to find out, who are we? Why are we here? And where are we going? Good morning, everybody. Good afternoon, wherever you're at. We have a great guest today. I'm super excited. Somebody I've been talking to for a couple of years now, who I've been trying to get on the regular show, but just because of travel restrictions and things, it hasn't happened. But we have the amazing Tom Massari. Hi, Tom.
The amazing. I've never been called the amazing Tom Massari. I've been called a lot of other things.
Well, my coffee still could get in, so you might get a couple other words.
Okay. I should have a cup of coffee, then I could match you.
And your partner, Susanna? Susanna's here too, so she's waving. Awesome. And the reason amazing, special, unique is because I actually heard, Tom, about your work in season 1 of my show when I was interviewing Lyssa Royal. She had brought your name up, and she said she was in channeling class with your channeling class in the 80s. I want to say the 80s, and Darryl was in the class as well. So were you the teacher? Darryl talks about his famous encounter with the other person in the class next to him had drawn a picture of Bashar or something like that. I think that was his wife. Oh, that was his wife. Okay. That's right. She channels as well.
She wasn't his wife then.
That's right.
But if I remember right, she was drawing a picture or a sketching of who he would channel.
Right. Okay.
So that was pretty cool.
Well, welcome, and I'm glad we're not meeting in person, but at least in this awesome new kind of the new standard of doing things here online in this way. And
you're online. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you're all the way in Florida, right? So we have
the way in Florida, yeah.
All the way in Florida.
All the way in Florida.
All the way over there. All the way on the other side.
Yeah.
Excellent. Well, I'd love to get a little bit about your story, since for my show, I'd say probably some of the biggest influencers in my show would probably be Lyssa and Darryl. The type of channeling, the ET stuff is what really gravitated me initially. And then since then, we've been going down all kinds of rabbit holes and talking with different energies. But maybe you can tell us about your story, how you became a channeler, and then even teaching.
Yeah.
Wherever you want to start.
Okay. Well, first of all, this last November marked my 50th year channeling. So I've been doing this for 50 years. Yeah. So in 1972, I was a drummer in a rock and roll band in California. Started out in Chicago, where I was born and raised. And the girl I was going with at the time, we were in Simi Valley, California.
Mm-hmm.
So the girl I was going with at the time had 3 sons. And every time I went in a certain bedroom of one of the kids, I had never felt alone. I always felt somebody was with me, but I never saw anybody. So I thought, well, there's a ghost in the house. So we had a friend come to visit us, and we were sitting doing nothing at night. And I said, let's go in the bedroom and see if we could talk to the ghost,
Oh, wow. Okay.
And we had no idea what we were doing, So we went in the bedroom, and we were asking, who are you? How did you die? Why are you here? This and that. And I started getting answers. I didn't hear any voices, but the answers were like inside of me.
Okay, I was going to say, this wasn't a Ouija board or anything like that.
No. Okay. Just the room and us. No Ouija boards.
All right.
So somebody would ask a question, and I would say, okay, what I'm getting is, and then I would give the answer. This girl who was in this room, her name was Maria. Don't remember how she died, but I don't remember why she was there either. But she just hung out in that one bedroom. So after a half hour of doing that, we all started feeling heaviness on our chest and kind of nauseous a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, let's get out of here. And my girlfriend and our friend went to the front room. People call it the living room, but being from Chicago, to me, it's a front room.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the kitchen to get a drink of water. On my way into the front room, I was stopped. I couldn't move. And I felt this huge energy all around me. And I said, something is happening. Watch me, make sure I'm okay, because I don't know what's going on, you know. Then I started reciting Shakespeare in an English accent. Now, I spent 15 years in Arizona, and while I was there, I did some acting in Arizona. And a couple of times we did Shakespeare, and I had no idea what we were talking about. I had to get that big Shakespearean encyclopedia and look up all the words that we were saying so I knew what the conversation was about.
Right.
So this went on for about 3 hours. For a few minutes, I would be this as a personality, speaking, and I actually saw myself on the stage, rounded front stage, with velvet curtains and the gas lamps, the gas lights on the stage.
Wow.
So for a few minutes, this would be that, reciting Shakespeare, and still I had no idea what was happening. And for a few minutes, I would return to Tom and snap out of it and say, what in the world is going on, you know?
Right.
And my girlfriend and my friend were sitting there like that because they didn't know what was going on either.
Right.
So that went on for about 3 hours.
And at that time, you weren't aware of the mechanism of channeling and what it was and all that, or was that all
No,
foreign?
if somebody would have said channeling to me, I would have probably said, oh, you mean like a Bela Lugosi kind of movie, something like that, you know?
Okay.
So I had never heard of channeling. I have never heard of mediumship. I was a drummer and I had planned my whole life to be in music, you know?
Right.
And then things change, you know?
Mm-hmm. Sure.
Things change. So after that happened, I was left in bed for 2 weeks. I was so drained of my energy, I couldn't get out of bed. I had to have friends come over and take care of me for 2 weeks.
Wow.
And I was thinking, okay, either I'm crazy or this was real. And if I'm crazy, I should be able to get some help and be normal again. But if it's real, if it happens again, let's see where it goes.
Mm-hmm.
I was never afraid of it. It never scared me. And then it happened again and again and again. And
each time, was it the same energy that was speaking through, or was it all over the place?
The energy started to change, and it became a different personality who called himself the Calypso Man. Don't ask me why, but
sounds like a Spider-Man supervillain or something.
Yeah. Why wasn't it Spider-Man or somebody cool, you know,
Right.
and not the Calypso Man?
I mean, no, it sounds cool. Calypso Man sounds cool.
You know, I mean, it was what it was, you know,
Mm-hmm.
and I didn't question it. So I just let it go and see what happens. And, you know, he came back a few times, then the energy changed, and then Abram announced himself. So I had met and kind of became friends with a noted doctor in LA when I lived in LA. And he was working with a patient who had either multiple sclerosis or muscular dystrophy. I don't remember which one. Mm-hmm. And he was telling Abram, he had a series of private sessions with Abram, and he was telling Abram, what I'm doing is not working. Can you help me? So Abram started telling him things to do, and they were like, okay, I wonder if this guy, I hope he knows what he's talking about with this doctor, because I don't want to be sued. You know, I have no idea what Abram is telling him. And about a month after that, the doctor came for another session, and he said, well, I did what you told me, and it's starting to work.
Wow.
Yeah. So then
at that time, when you would channel, were you sort of blacked out? Is that why you said you didn't know what you were saying?
Yeah, I was able to hear when Abram was telling this doctor.
Okay.
You know, when I channel, I go into kind of like a sleep kind of state. Mm-hmm. And then, you know, Abram just does his thing, and when it's done, he goes home and I wake up,
Okay. So you're kind of conscious of what's being said, but not, or
I
not.
can be at times, but
I see.
usually it's all like in a dream when I wake up out of it.
Okay.
So I don't, 90% of the time, I don't remember what happened or what
Gotcha.
was said.
Okay.
So at the time, there were only a few of us, very few of us channeling. So I had nobody really to talk to about, what's going on? How does this work? What am I supposed to do with it? What could I do with it? So I had to learn all of this by myself because I had nobody to talk to. The hardest part of channeling, if anybody wants to be a channel, is learning how to get out of the way, get your emotions out of the way so your source or whoever you're channeling can come through without you getting involved in the conversation and introducing your own conscious thoughts.
Right.
Took me 8 years to learn how to do that when I started channeling. So after the doctor told Abram it's starting to work, then I thought to myself, okay, he knows what he's talking about. So I'm just going to get out of the way as best I can and let him do what he does. But for a long time, I questioned it. Is this real? I think it's real. But anyway, going back to the, when I very first started, the personality gave a name of John Rolfes, Shakespearean actor.
Oh, okay.
In the late 1700s. And I thought to myself, okay, if this is real, then I should be able to find him in a library. So I went to the library, checked in the books, and I found him, Shakespearean actor from the late 1700s.
Wow.
So that's how very first time started with the Elizabethan stuff, Shakespearean stuff.
Okay. So at that time, other than you being in acting class and learning a little bit about Shakespeare, had you had any connections to Shakespeare or that world? Was that sort of all new?
No, to be very blunt, I hated Shakespeare. I hated having to do those acting scenes, reciting Shakespeare. I had no idea what I was talking about.
Sure. Yeah, I could never go that direction either. I'd been in acting classes as well, and that never excited me at all. That was actually
no, not at all.
Right. So when you're having the vision of the lamps and everything, so later it came through that I guess you were stepping into that entity's world in a sense, or how was there bleed throughs then when you're channeling that entity?
Okay, I'm going to say this, and I haven't told this to a lot of people.
Okay,
but we found out when I was living in Milwaukee in '74. That's when Sue and I met in Milwaukee. I met a hypnotherapist,
right,
and became friends with him, and told him about my story. And he said, "Well, let's hypnotize you and see what's going on with this John Rolfes character."
right.
Turned out to be a past life of mine.
Okay.
Then I started thinking, okay, I've gone over the edge and I really need to get some help.
I guess, yeah, especially at that time, it was not as accepted, and where there was no interview with Ed back then.
No.
So did you seek help, or did it?
No, I was on the verge of seeking help, but I decided, okay, again, if I'm crazy, I'll get some help and I'll be all right, I think.
Right.
But it went on for a few more times, and every time it happened, it was like, okay, this is all right. This is not going to hurt me in any way. It's not hurting other people who he's talking to. So I'll let it go on and see what happens.
Okay.
And then it graduated into Abram. And then that's when it took me 8 years to figure out how to really get out of Abram's way so he can speak and bring his knowledge to people without me getting in the way and getting my Chicago attitude in there. I didn't want to do that. You know?
Okay.
So it took me
Well,
it took me 8 years to learn how to do that. The most important thing is to learn how to get your emotions out of the way. If you've had a good day or a bad day emotionally, you have to
mhm,
know how to set them aside so your source can come and deliver what he or she has to deliver without you being there.
I see.
So that's pretty much why I go into the sleep state, and I've gotten to the point where I can immediately just set all my emotions aside and let Abram come and do his thing.
Interesting. And what were the steps that brought you to LA to start teaching?
I had a number of people approach me and say, "Do you teach people how to channel?"
Okay.
And I was thinking about it, and I thought, well, maybe it'd be fun to do that. So then I started the class and had a full house of students, probably about 30 people, something like that, as students. And Abram had them do a lot of meditating and a lot of visualizing. And out of that class of about 30 people, 2, 3 became channels.
Oh, okay. Wow. So
That's
that
all.
so that was who we know, the two that we know,
Yeah.
Darryl and Lyssa, and then someone else.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. Wow. So
Yeah.
there's a small select group, but in my world, in this interview with Ed, Darryl and Lyssa are again probably the most popular, most famous channelers in
Yeah.
this in my circle.
Yeah. Yeah.
Do you keep in touch with them? Have you talked to Darryl or Lyssa at all?
I talked to Lyssa about 3 years ago, and
Okay.
I've spoken to Darryl a couple of years ago. Every now and then we connect, but it's not
Oh,
very often, not as often as I would like it to be.
sure, sure. Well,
But,
I'll
he's
definitely be
busy,
sharing.
and I do my stuff and he does his stuff, and
Yeah, yeah.
everybody's happy.
Everybody's happy. Yes. Yeah, they've been great. Both of them have been great shining lights, especially
Yeah.
in the channeling world
Yeah.
for getting the information and integrating it and getting us through this crazy times too. And I know
Yeah.
your work as well has been helping a lot. But those for me, it was those two. Lyssa was introduced to me later, but Darryl used to come. I used to have these meetings at an office space in Marina Del Rey back from around 2010 for about 5 years, and I had put on these once a month I call them the ET meetup groups, and people
Yeah.
within the Hollywood industry would come and hang out on a Tuesday, and we'd have special guests and talk about ETs and abductions and government cover-ups
Yeah.
and all that
Yeah.
fun stuff. So Darryl would come to those meetings,
Yeah.
and I had no idea he was a channeler. He didn't really advertise it. It was like he was leading two lives, the Darryl life and then, Bashar
Yeah.
life.
Yeah.
Later I remember seeing like YouTube videos. I was like, hey, that's the guy that comes to my meetings. And then later introduced to Lyssa, and she mentioned your work. So just, yeah, I'm just glad we're able to sort of get the lineage through here. You're well respected and amazing. Going back to our amazing. So there's
Thank
our.
you. Thank you.
So the other entity you mentioned, what was his name again? The unique name, the supervillain name.
Oh, Calypso Man.
Calypso Man. So what kind of energy was that, and how long did you channel that energy?
Every time the channeling changed, it seemed like the energy got bigger and bigger and bigger with each different personality.
I see.
So the Calypso Man it was a big energy. It was a big energy. Abram's energy is a lot bigger than that.
Okay.
Yeah.
When you say bigger, can you describe that? What is bigger energy mean? How do you decide?
It's like when people ask me, how does it feel to channel?
Right.
You have to experience it to know how it feels. I can try to say how it feels with words, but it's not going to do it any justice. The bigger the energy, I guess, the more involved the channeling would become. If
Involved
that makes sense.
involved in a physical sense, the physical sensations, or both physical and
Both.
some other. Okay.
Both. Both.
And I'm just trying to use, because I've been regressed before and sort of channeled in the regress. Barbara Lamb, she regressed me for one of my episodes, and I feel that's the closest I got to channeling, is feeling this sensation of being there but not really being there. It was this, her voice ended up coming from the other side of the room, and I'm like, how is this physically? This is, I didn't move, she didn't move, how is this possible? So I'm just trying to think of reference points to understand this biggerness. But I guess I'm sure some of our other audience members who channel regularly is probably know what you're talking about.
Yeah, probably they do, but probably they won't be able to explain it. But if they do explain it, write me and let me know what they say.
Okay. Well, we could have them chime in a little bit.
Okay.
So so it was an evolution. So it was Shakespeare, and then Calypso, and then and then Abram came in eventually.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, did Calypso say what type of energy he was? Was he like a human, or, because there's, in our lore, we have the T energy, which is a very popular.
Yeah. No, he didn't say. He didn't say.
Oh,
and he
okay.
was with me. Calypso Man was with me for just a short time anyway.
I see.
So I didn't get the chance to really find out about him, what he was all about, which is good, because I mean, after I channeled him, I would feel kind of silly sitting there talking in this Calypso kind of voice. You know what I mean?
Oh, what can you imitate the voice for us? What kind of voice was it?
It was like somebody from like how Jamaican people talk. Yeah.
Oh wow! So like a Rastafari kind of guy.
I couldn't remember that. Thank you for that. So
yeah, interesting. So kind of a Bob Marley type of accent. Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Wow, fascinating.
Yeah.
Interesting. And then, so tell us about Abram then, and let's get into his history, and then we're going to try to bring him through a little bit later. How did you make that connection, and then how this, again, getting into the bigger energy?
Okay. If you talk to real channels, because there are a lot of people out there who say they're channels, but they're not really channels because they were not born into it. Okay. I think to be a real channel, you have to be born into it. It's just like the past composers. They didn't go to a 4-week class in music theory and then all of a sudden become a channel, and a composer, and start composing these masterpieces. They were born into that. Writers are born into what they do. Actors are born into being actors. So real channels are born into being a channel. And if you talk to any real channel, they'll probably tell you the same story, that at some point, probably in between physical lives, they and their source somehow met together and came up with the idea that the person would channel that source in a particular lifetime. So that's what I discovered happened with me and Abram. Somewhere, and I don't know where, I don't know when, but somewhere, at some time in between physical lives, we sat down and had a discussion, maybe, somehow figured that I would be a channel for him in this lifetime.
Interesting. And so is that Abram energy then sort of the you said source, so a bigger, when you say bigger and source energy, that means that energy is closer to that sort of oversoul? Would that be another word that we get from like Lyssa? And we have sort of a vocabulary we're building in the show here with oversouls and higher selves and these kinds of these kinds of things.
Yeah. Abram is not my higher self.
Okay.
I wouldn't want to channel my higher self because my Chicago attitude would get in the way too much,
Okay.
And people would not be happy with that.
Right.
So Abram is not my higher self. Abram is a separate entity from Tom.
Okay.
Just like Bashar from Darryl.
Right.
Separate. He's told us that he has had 3 physical lifetimes. That's all, just 3.
Okay.
Once on Atlantis, and once in the time of Jesus, when his name was Abram,
Okay.
And the last one was as a Mayan shaman. And his name in the Mayan civilization was Kumekwe. But he goes by Abram, Kumekwe. He goes by Abram now because he says in that lifetime, in the time of Jesus, he learned the most spiritually that he was able to learn. So that's why he keeps the name Abram.
Oh, okay. Was he actually alive? Like, so did he interact with Jesus in that at that time?
He was alive. He made shoes, sandals for people. He was a shoemaker, sandal maker.
Okay.
And he knew of Jesus. He spoke to him a few times, but he wasn't a close friend of Jesus. But he knew of him.
Interesting. And when you talk about he learned the most of spiritually, how does he talk about how he learned that? You know, there's stories that Jesus went to Egypt. Did he go on that kind of pilgrimage as well?
When he was on Atlantis, let's go back to Atlantis.
Okay.
He was what he calls a marshal in the force. The force would be like our military is today. So he was maybe like a colonel or something like that, you know, in our military today. And he said he did what he was told. He was given orders and he carried out his orders. And back then, the force took care of people. They made sure that everybody had what they needed. So they were the good guys. Okay.
Okay.
And after a time, he said, I got tired. And I'm sure he can tell you, you know, in a better way than I can. He got tired of carrying out orders and he just walked away. He left the force and he went on a mountain, lived the rest of his life on a mountain all by himself. And that's where he learned how to go within and trust the self and realize that he was spiritual. A lot of people come to Abram and say, well, you know, I'm trying to be spiritual, and what can I do to raise my consciousness and my spirituality? And Abram says, why? Why are you trying to do that when you're already spiritual? You know, you are consciousness. Consciousness is spirituality. So don't try to be spiritual. Just be spiritual the way you are now.
Right. Fascinating.
So on that mountain, yeah, he I guess he really got in touch with what he was all about. And that allowed him to evolve, you know, in a good way.
Have you over the years channeling that energy, and I'm sure people have asked tons of questions about Atlantis. What's your personal, like, what kind of story have you been able to put together around that, around Atlantis? And, you know,
okay, here we go.
Yeah. All right. Because I'm working on another project right now around crystal skulls, and Atlantis comes up all the time. So, and it seems to be a hot topic in our you know, in these changing times that we're going through.
Yeah.
So
it's been a hot topic for a long time.
Yeah.
But what Abram said was, people are looking for Atlantis. He says they're never going to find Atlantis. There are 3 pieces of Atlantis that sank into the ocean. Just 3. Not Atlantis. He said people are never going to find it because Atlantis is not in the ocean. It didn't sink. He said if you can visualize a flower that's open like this, and then visualize it closing, this is what Atlantis did. It closed and just lifted up and went away.
Interesting. And would that correlate with the Mayan civilization as well? You know, so we have this sort of the disappearing of the Mayan civilization.
Yeah.
Is something similar?
Yeah, he said that the Mayan civilization did what they were supposed to do. And at that point, when they all disappeared, what they did was they all realized as a society that their purpose was done, and they simply walked into another dimension and just left this third dimension that we're in.
Interesting.
Or whatever dimension we're in, who knows?
Right. In this density, right?
Yeah.
Did there's the legends of Atlantis, and with me and my research and my work, continuously getting nuggets and different things. And Edgar Casey goes into this idea that there was this it was powered by this whole civilization was sort of powered by this crystal energy, and that was and it even got that was the ultimate downfall was because this crystal energy was misused or something like that. Has any of those types of tales or ideas come through around crystals and power? And
no, but that would be a good thing to talk to Abram about.
Okay.
He was there.
Yeah, I'll save that question then.
I never heard of crystals on Atlantis being used as power sources. I never heard that.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's it pops in here and there, and I'm just specifically because I've been going down this rabbit hole with crystal skulls. So I'm in it deep right now with this other show. Well, bring us to, so you're teaching in LA. How did you get all the way to Florida, and what was the transition for in your work, and how does that show up? And I know you're still teaching, doing sessions online, and tell us about the evolution.
Okay. While I had the channeling class going on in LA, we started talking about UFOs. And I said, well, why don't we go on a UFO watch? So one of the students went to the high desert by Victorville and found the spot that we can all go to that was no lights from the city, way out of the way from everything. So we started going to that spot near Victorville in the high desert. And we would see like crazy lights in the sky, and one light kept getting brighter and brighter and brighter, and all of a sudden just blinked out. And I always, every time we were there, which was a few times, I always heard footsteps really close to me. Nobody was ever there, never saw anybody. That was a fun time. That was a fun time.
So was it like a CE5 event? Like right now we have the culture of, and Lyssa and her contact work, she's doing a lot of that. Was that kind of early stages of that where you would sort of put out the call?
Yeah, I guess so. Abram from time to time would tell us, okay, if you go on a certain night at a certain time, 2:00 in the morning, this is what you're going to see.
Oh, wow.
In the sky. Yeah. So we would go out there, we'd wait till 2 a.m, and we would see what he said we were going to see.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty handy.
Yeah. He's a good guy to have around,
Yeah. For CE5s, we might have to do a little CE5 bedroom here.
Yeah. So if that was C5, I guess, I know what C5 is, but we had no idea that we were doing C5 if that's what we were doing. It just happened. So I moved from LA to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in 1974, I believe it was. And I met Sue, and we dated for 2 months. And then we kind of like just separated, and she went her way and I went my way. And she'll tell everybody, well, yeah, we dated for 2 months, but he dumped me,
Is that right?
No. Let's get this straight now. You just stopped asking me out. I've never told anybody that you dumped me, because you did not. You just stopped.
Oh, I thought a couple times I heard you tell people that I dumped.
No.
And I had to come to my
defense. And
defense.
I stayed friends with you and we were still within the same group of people.
Yeah.
I never
Yeah,
went
yeah.
my own way until everybody
Well,
went their
you
own
did.
way.
Yeah, you did eventually. Then I went back to wherever I went back. I went to Arizona, and she became a massage therapist. I became a massage therapist in Arizona.
Okay.
And my phone rang one night. This was like 35 years later. My phone rang one night, and I saw a 904 area, and I didn't want to answer it because I don't know anybody in the 904 area. But I thought, well, I'll answer and see who it is. And it was her.
Mm-hmm.
So I said, "Oh my God, what are you doing?" She said, "Well, I'm a massage therapist." I said, "I'm a massage therapist." I said, "My birthday is next month. Why don't you come out? You could be with me for my birthday."
Mm-hmm.
So she came out for a 4-day weekend and stayed 5 months.
All right.
And then she said, "Well, I have to go back to Florida because my job is there." And she was working at FedEx at the time. And my family is there. And I said, "Okay, I'll pack up and I'll go with you." So that's how we got back together.
I see.
That's why I'm in Florida, because of her.
Oh, okay. And how has, I know at that time, channeling was super rare, and but it was probably more prominent in California and at Los Angeles than in Florida. How did the going back to Florida and did you continue the channeling work and doing that privately? How did that work?
We started a meetup group, and had people come over for the meetup group, and I would do channelings for the meetup people, who were there.
Right.
I kept doing private sessions on the phone before Zoom came out.
Oh, okay.
And that's really about it. I just kept up with private sessions and the meetup group, and then finally we got tired of the meetup group and we disbanded that.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we did retreats also.
And we've done retreats. We've done, I think, 3 or 4 retreats here. Weekend retreats. That was a lot of fun. We had other people join us in hypnotherapy, and we had a friend of ours named Terry, who is an ET experiencer, and she had a lot of stories about being with the ETs and their craft and what happened and how she met them and all that. So she did a presentation, and other people did their presentations, and I would do a couple of channelings over the weekend. Sue would do, she's a medium, so she would do readings for people who were there. And that was a lot of fun, but boy, it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to do something like that together.
Yeah, I've been part of Lyssa's events, and Lyssa and Ron are always just going the extra mile, putting things together, and it's a lot. Yeah, I know it takes a toll on them. I've done a couple events myself. It's great being part of it, and just experiencing everything. But when you're organizing those things, it's always a lot of work, and having to channel as well. That's focusing on logistics and channeling. I'm sure those two don't mix very well.
Yeah. We did about 3 or 4 of them, and everybody had a lot of fun, and a lot of people really enjoyed it, and it was worth it. But yeah, it's a lot of work.
And are you doing just mostly privates now?
That's all I'm doing, and we do the videos on YouTube. Sue and I, and Sue and Abram do videos on YouTube and private sessions. That's what I'm doing right now. And I just finished up my book called Conversations with an Alien.
Oh, okay. Excellent. So like Conversations with God, but instead of with an alien.
Yeah. And it all came to me through automatic writing.
Oh, perfect. Excellent. What are any highlights you want to talk about? How did that come through, or how did that start?
Sure. In 1997, when I was living in Arizona, I was sitting on my patio with my dogs, and I was having a cigarette and just relaxing. When I smoked cigarettes, I don't anymore.
Mm-hmm.
And all of a sudden, I had scenes playing through my mind of a physicist and a great alien face to face talking to each other. And I
A
thought,
human,
man,
a human
this-
physicist, like a human
Yeah,
physicist.
yeah.
Okay.
And I thought this would make a good movie. So I ran in the house and started writing all this stuff down with the pencil and paper and getting all this information, and I couldn't keep up with it. So I started typing it on my old computer, barely keeping up with it. And I got enough information for, I think it was 7 or 9, I think it was 9 conversations. And then I had put the book down for about 20 years.
Wow.
Didn't look at it for about 20 years. And about 1.5 years, 2 years ago, I picked it up again, started reading through it, and I thought, boy, this is good stuff. So then all of a sudden, I got more coming to me, automatic writing, to do chapter or conversation number 10. And that finished the book.
Oh.
And in the book, they talk about how they met, and they talk about time displacement, bending time, bending space, time becoming space, the universe, how craft operate, their propulsion system, a whole lot of stuff.
Wow. and is the book, is it out yet, or when can we
Not
see it?
yet, not yet.
Okay.
I'm getting it ready to send, to have it done as an ebook.
Okay. Perfect.
And then I'll send everybody an email, let them know that it's available.
Yeah, please. I'd love to announce
Yeah.
it on my page as well. It sounds
Great.
And I'm super interested in propulsion systems and, the science behind a lot of these ET craft. It's it's fascinating and just an interest of mine. So it sounds like a fun exploration.
Yeah. It was a lot of fun writing it. Well, it wasn't a lot of fun writing it because my fingers were killing me to try to get up on the keyboard when they were, when I was getting all this stuff.
Wow.
But yeah, it's. I read it now and I think, boy, this is really some good stuff. This material would be good for this time because of all the ET stuff going on right now.
Sure.
Yeah. I think it'll fit right in.
Excellent.
Yeah.
And so Abram, I'm assuming even though he's had these lives on the Earth, I've heard some of your channelings where he does go into space time and some of the mechanics and some things. So he's not so earthbound, so to say. You could ask him ET questions if you wanted, and he would get right in there.
Anything from finances to how UFOs work and how the universe started, how it did not start, and what the universe is all about. Yeah, he talks about all that stuff. Yeah.
Well, how do you for your channeling process? You said you get into it pretty easy. Do we want to take a little break and then get into it, or are you ready? Could we just go right in there?
I don't need a break.
Okay. All right.
Do that?
Yeah, and then maybe when at the end we'll come back out and then we'll do some final questions with you, Tom, and before we leave. But is that okay, or should we get any Tom questions out of the way first? Are you okay?
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. It takes
you're seasoned.
Takes me about well, after 50 years, I know what I'm doing.
Totally. No, I just some people are. It takes it takes them a long time to get into it, and then once they're out, once they're in, and then they're kind of done for the day. So I just double checking. So
that's how I used to be when I started. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. And I would week out of it, and I would have a headache or upset stomach, or none of that anymore. So it takes me about a minute maybe to get into it, and I wake up. Takes me about a minute to wake up, and I'm all the way back here.
Okay. And we're okay with Q&A with the audience and stuff. I'll kind of moderate, but I'll start off with just a few basic questions, and then I'm sure the audience has tons of questions they're listing up. So and then I'll just kind of moderate as far as chiming people in, and people can raise their hand when they have questions. So cool.
Sounds good.
Awesome. Well,
all right.
We'll see you on the other side.
All right. Give me a minute and I will see you when it's all done.
Okay. Hey there. If you like this broadcast and want to join us live each week, come over to the Interview with Ed membership portal. The links are down below, and you too can join in the conversation asking the channel's questions directly, and the beings at the channel. And we have a bunch of other offerings. So come on over and hang out with us. It's a great community. See you there.
Hello, my friend.
Hello, Abram. Nice to see you or feel you in this way.
It is good to be with you. This is my honor, my friend. So how are you feeling?
Feeling pretty good. A little tired because we had the daylight savings time thing kind of cut my sleep a little shorter than expected, but I'm navigating. I'm doing okay. I got my coffee. It's kicking in.
All right. Everyone talks about, well, when we change the time, I will lose an hour or 2 hours sleep and I will feel badly in the morning. And they say that so much that they believe that and it becomes a reality. If they would just think or say, I am putting the clock 1 hour ahead, and that will give me more energy than I have ever had when I awaken. If they were to say that, they would have that reality.
Okay. I will do that next year.
If you want to be tired, go ahead and be tired, but enjoy it.
Yes, I am definitely enjoying this day.
All right.
Awesome. Well, I know we have a lot of questions from the audience, but we were just talking with Tom about Atlantis, and that's a subject that's dear to my heart, especially of late. And I understand that you had an Earth experience at that time, and
yes,
I wanted to ask about the crystals. See, we were just talking about sort of crystal energy. I'm doing a project right now around crystal skulls, and I'm wondering at your time how prevalent were crystal skulls, and then maybe just crystals in general, and how they were a part of the Atlantean lifestyle and civilization.
Crystal skulls, they were around on Atlantis, but most part, they came later.
Oh, okay.
Crystals were used on Atlantis for power, absolutely. And there were places designed on Atlantis, all around Atlantis, upon which those crystals were either buried or secured underground. You had a famous person named Nikola Tesla.
Yes,
who
very familiar.
Was very good at working with energy and electricity. He had that power that would emit energy, free energy for everyone. Or, well, it was a nice dream of his anyway. The same thing on Atlantis. There was a network of crystals set up all around Atlantis. And that was used to power Atlantis for the most part, and to bring power and electricity to those on Atlantis at the same time. So crystals were a major part of Atlantean times. Absolutely, my friend. Yes.
Okay. And you said the skull phenomenon that came a little bit later. Was that to preserve the knowledge of Atlantis?
In a sense only.
Okay.
If you have a real crystal skull, you can communicate with it and gather information about ages from the past and ages in the future as well. And I think you know this by now.
Yes. Yeah.
When you communicate with those crystal skulls, just hold it in your hands and just look at it and be with it. You know what I mean when I say be with it? Yes or no?
I think so, but maybe just to clarify.
Have you yet gotten to a place where you can just be?
I think so. In meditation, and yeah.
All right?
Yep.
When you are not in meditation, you can just be. And by that, I mean be without emotion for a time. Now, everything in the universe is based on emotion. Everything and everyone. But you can, for a time, be without emotion and just be. And people tell me, well, be what? And I say, no, not what, just be. Be in the center of what you are. In the center of what you are, you will find a spark of consciousness. This is the you. This is the total you, the spark of consciousness in the center of your beingness. And I am not talking about the physical body. I am talking about the energetic body, my friend.
Okay.
Find that place in the energetic body. You can use meditation if you would like to, but you can't do this without meditation also, my friend. Find that place, that spark of consciousness in the center of, imagine yourself as a big ball of energy. It will be easier for you to find your way to the center of that ball of energy. Then you will find that spark. And it has nothing to do with your energy, but it is a spark of consciousness, which could be said to be energy, but it is beyond energy, my friend. It is the universe wrapped up in you, because you are the universe. You can find the entire universe within you if you know how to look for it. And the way to look for it is to see yourself as that ball of energy. Find the center of that ball, find the spark in the center of that ball, and you have found the entire universe, my friend.
I see. Okay. And and so you're saying do that with the skull and in front of the skull, perhaps, or with when I'm in the presence of the skull, so I can connect with it in that way and have a dialogue.
Absolutely.
Okay. One more, we have a couple questions coming in, but one more about crystals. There's are you familiar with the term Andara crystal? They're kind
Yes.
of green.
Yes.
Yes. What was this a result from technology during the Atlantean times, or
Yes. Yes.
Could you go into that a little bit?
Technology during the time of Atlantis had grown to such a degree that your present day people cannot imagine yet what was on Atlantis. They had taken crystals and they had refined them. When you refine certain crystals, not all, certain crystals, they will change color. They will become the Andara crystal, greenish in tint. This is because they hold more energy than a normal clear crystal can hold. You understand that?
Okay, yeah, it seems, yeah, I'm learning this now. I'm learning about these
Right.
crystal consciousnesses.
Absolutely. People think about consciousness. Well, people have consciousness, I think. Dogs and cats don't have consciousness. Crystals, rocks, the ground, the earth does not have consciousness. And I tell them, if you have a dog as a pet, watch your dog, because your dog's consciousness is greater than yours. Why? I will tell you why. Thank you for asking. Because they live in the present moment only. They do not base their life or their reality on how they feel about things emotionally. They operate and function on, with, and by instinct only. This keeps them pure. They have no judgment. They do not judge anything. So watch your dog. You can learn a lot by just watching your dog. Crystals, everything has consciousness, everything. Crystals have consciousness, many times higher consciousness than people do again. And if people could understand that everything is consciousness, they would then understand that everything is just one idea. everything is one idea. And everything alive and not alive will come from the one idea. And the one idea is consciousness. It is the universe. The universe is the one consciousness, supplying all of you, your planet Earth, all the stars, all the planets, with and for their consciousness and their energy as well. And I tell people, pay attention to what is going on your planet Earth. It is angry. You have been raping it. You have been decimating it. It is now talking back to you. Volcanoes, hurricanes, storms, floods, and all the rest. If you really want to change things, be in nature. Talk to a tree. This might sound crazy or silly. Talk to a tree. Hug the tree. Kiss the tree. Love the tree. Talk to the ground. Love the ground. Give your earth your love. It needs it because your earth is like a baby. It needs your nurturing. It needs it. You will have a happier life and a happier planet Earth, and it will give you more of what you need to sustain your life than what it has been giving you.
And I'm assuming we can reconnect to these crystals and energies by having a healthy relationship with love and connections. We can harvest those connections.
Absolutely, yes.
And do these Andaras, can we get information from them about Atlantis and the technologies at that time?
You can, if you would like to, but you don't have to.
Okay. Well,
if you
I'm
really
excited
want to get information.
Yeah.
Say
go
it.
ahead. I'm sorry. I was just thinking, yes, I do want to explore technologies of the past and understand these Atlantean secrets in a sense.
If you want to explore more of the technologies of Atlantis, you don't need anything having to do with Andara to do that.
Okay.
Because, my friend, you are of Atlantis. You are. And all you have to do is just still your mind and take yourself back to Atlantis and just be there in spirit and in mind, not in body, but in spirit and in mind. And being that you are of Atlantis, you right now know all the things you need to know about Atlantean times. You understand that?
I think so. I think so. Yeah.
Then think about it.
Okay.
Think
Yeah.
about it. Let it all settle within you. And it will all come to your conscious mind and give you everything you need to know, my friend.
Awesome. Thank you. Well, let's take a question from Lital. Go ahead. Hop in there. Yeah.
Hi. I have a question about the brain in correlation to 3D. I have diagnosed, and from what I understood, that most of the people that has a lazy eye have these symptoms where they can't perceive, the brain cannot perceive third dimension. It was very interesting the way she explained it to me, because how I'm clumsy and how I'm seeing things. My eyes only see them after it happens. And it was just interesting to understand. If I always know that the soul has also something to do with a state of being, with a state of, if there's any issues in our bodies or something like that comes out, and especially the eyes is the windows of the soul. So I wanted to see if you can maybe explain to me what that could be. So maybe when I go into treatment, I can deal with both of them, the spiritual aspect and also the physical aspect.
Thank you, my friend. The brain is a computing device. It performs what functions it is given. Now, you have created your reality. And as you look around you, all things appear to be real in your reality. Reality is an illusion. Nothing is real, and you might know this by now. Being that nothing is real, your brain will interpret things to make they will seem real, so that you can exist in a, or what you call a physical reality, because you think you are a physical human being. Everything is an illusion. If you can consider all things as being an illusion, even people, even you, if you can consider that, then you will have no problem seeing things before they happen, after they happen, while they're happening, or anything else that you can imagine. Lazy eye is, let me put it this way, it is a condition of the body that instructs the brain to see things at a later time, or a split second after something takes place, or even before something takes place. Medical people have been trying to figure out the brain for a long time. They will never figure out the brain because it is so simple. They are looking for all complicated issues to deal with the brain, and they will not find them. The brain is just simple. It is a computer. The soul, anything with the body begins in the soul, or your energy body. Your energy body is your soul. I think you know this by now. It starts in the energy body and transforms itself, transmutes itself, translates itself into a physical thing, because you have created what you think is a physical reality. If you were to think about reality as being nothing more than energy, you would have no lazy eye. There would be nothing going on with the brain. Your soul would be with you all the time, around you all the time, and you would be functioning from, by, and with the soul more and more and more and more of the time. Are you understanding me so far?
Yes, thank
now,
you.
Listen to me closely. I want you to know this. What I would like you to do, and you can do what you want, but this is my suggestion to you, to sit quietly, have a very straight spine, no slouching. No slouching like Tom is doing right now. Allow all the energies to flow through all of the meridian points freely. Take a deep breath. Relax yourself emotionally. Get to a place of no emotion if you can do that. And I think you can do that by now, my friend. Once you are there in that place of no emotion, you can then instruct your brain to function freely, completely, allowing all of the electrical impulses to flow freely without obstruction or hesitation. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Do
Yes,
that
I
for
do. I'm sorry. I have
5
yes,
minutes,
I do.
5
Yes.
minutes, 10 minutes. This is all you need. And then go about your day. If you can do it every day, this would be a good thing.
Amazing.
So
Amazing.
does that answer your
I'll do
question?
that.
Yes or no?
I'm sorry?
Does that answer your question?
Yes. Yes, it does. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Satal. Christine, your hand's up. Go ahead.
Hi. I guess it's a little challenging for a lot of us, I believe, to register. It seems a little ambiguous talking about energy. And I was watching something last night that it feels like it kind of puts things into context to help understand how we're all connected in this unity consciousness. It's from what I heard, it sounded like we're all basically the periodic table elements just rearranged. All of consciousness is just the periodic table rearranged. And we're, as humans in this form, we're basically like water and salt. And maybe to program this consciousness, it might be easier to relate and to be present, like with a crystal skull or anything like that, to understand that we have the same table of elements, and that's how we can connect, is through the energetics of the different elements. Is there any truth to that?
There is some truth to that, but if I were you, I would lean more toward thinking this way. Imagine that in the center of your stomach area, there is a big ball of energy. Do you understand me so far?
Yes.
Now, imagine that there are billions of threads of that energy extending from your body. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now understand that each of those threads will connect with the threads of all other people. This is how you are all connected, by those threads of energy. Do you understand that?
Yes.
You know, people can talk about the elements, they can talk about this, they can talk about that, these, them, those, and everything else they can imagine. What it all boils down to is you are the center of your universe, and you know this by now. But that means that you are also the center and focal point for and of all other people in your life and in your reality when they are with you and when they are not with you. You understand that?
Yes.
So consider all of those threads of energy leaving your body and finding their way to merge and connect with the threads of all other people on your planet Earth. This is how energy works.
Okay.
So does that answer your question? Yes or no?
Yes, it does. And I suppose I have, maybe it's a two-part question.
All right. I will have a two-part answer probably.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
You were talking about how animals are more, they hold more consciousness than us. What is the purpose? It seems that we have ego and that's a filter. So what is the purpose of humans versus, all of other consciousness? I understand it's a little more intricate than this, but is it partially kind of like we're dreaming the dream and then the everything else is kind of like supporting that, almost like a background, but more than that?
Absolutely. Now you know what you are talking about. But let me correct you on one thing, my friend, if I can.
Yes.
Animals don't hold consciousness. Animals are consciousness. And they also are connected with those threads of energy with you people. So if you have a pet, a dog, cat, bird, rhinoceros, elephant, pterodactyl, whatever you have for a pet, know that you are connected with that pet with and by and of and from your threads of energy, because your pet is extending the same thing. This is how you connect with all forms of life, with those threads of energy.
Okay.
What do you think? What do you
I love
think?
it. Yeah.
Why do you love it? Why do you love it?
It resonates with me. I guess I just need, I like to have a mirror, to a reference point to confirm what my belief.
Stop talking, thank you. First of all, don't ever need anything. And don't ever say, I would like to have, because you will never have it. Because you will always be saying, I would like to have. You will never have it. Say, I have it. I am it.
Thank you.
I am not done yet. Don't thank me yet, my friend.
Okay.
If there's something you want, become it. Invite the energy of it to come to you, and it will. Because it also uses those threads of energy that come from you. The energy of what you want will come to you. Then you will have it. You can begin by seeing it, thinking it, imagining it, becoming it. Then act it out. Act as if you have it now, because you do have it now. You don't have to wait for anything to come to you. You have everything now. So begin using all of what, who, and why you are now. Do you understand that?
I do.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
Thanks, Christine. Okay. Then Sophia, go ahead.
Hi, I was just wondering what sort of illness and disease and medicine and healing or energy healing looks like, or how it works in your time.
When I spent time as a Mayan shaman, we used bones for healing. All of these things were used for healing. Bones, feathers, liquids, primarily water, The bones were used in healing for strength. The feathers were used in healing for spiritual awareness. To heal a physical body, you first of all acknowledge the source of the illness, which always comes down to imbalanced emotions in the body. And I think you know this by now. When you find those emotions that are out of balance with themselves or with other emotions, then you can have the individual go deeply within himself or herself and just take those emotions spiritually and just bid them goodbye. Those are emotions that do not support them, do not work for them any longer. They don't need them. Once the individual gets to a place of emotional balance, then the physical body responds. Anything can be used in healing. Rocks from your ground, because they have consciousness also, believe it or not. You can use anything for healing. Rusty nails, anything, as long as you provide the intention for what you are using to be a healing tool. You can use that as a healing tool, and the body will respond to it. But the person really has to get into a state of emotion and find the emotions that just have not been working. Those emotions that people choke down, and people choke their emotions down too much of the time. This is why there is a lot of confusion and craziness going on your planet Earth at this point in time. People don't know themselves. They're trying to find themselves, but they don't know how to find themselves. Find the emotions that don't work. Give those emotions love. Don't love them, but give them love and send them on their way. This is all that you have to do. Did that answer your question?
Yes, it did. Thank you. And is there ever, did you do a lot of work on soul level healing? Do you think there's healing to be done beyond the emotional?
The soul is emotion. The emotion is the soul. The soul translates into being the physical human being. It is all soul healing, all of it.
Perfect. Thank you.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend.
Thanks, Sophia. I have a question about time. And it seems, I know the past is sort of changing, evolving compared to our present. And vibrationally, we're sort of stepping into new timelines through the past and the future. I'm wondering, from your explanation, how this, again, going back to this idea of Atlantis and how it's showing up in our lives now, is this because we're aligning more with these ideas like crystals and different energies, technologies? Are we aligning more with that timeline, and that's why it's making itself more of a reality and we can call it our past?
Yes, you can do that. But the past is a part of your present, and your present is a part of the future, and your future is a part of your present also. And you know this by now.
Right.
You are more so, you are people, and you included, you are aligning with the idea of Atlantis, more so than with the energy of something from Atlantis. You are aligning with the idea of Atlantis. The idea of Atlantis will always exist. Everything that has been done, everything that has been built, constructed, created, will always exist as an energy memory. And the energy memory will exist in all people for eternity. It's just unfortunate that most people don't know that, they don't believe it, so they just go throughout their lives not enjoying their life and all the rest, and they just live it out and go through it. You know what I mean?
Sure. So does that means we can tap into this idea of free energy or alternative energy with remembering that these timelines, these aspects of us that had access to this energy in the past?
Yes.
Okay. just confirming. And one last question about the Andorra crystals. From your experience, have any of these Andorra crystals been made into skulls, or is there a specific?
No, not yet, not yet, not yet. But they will. They will. Give it time. Those who have possession of some of the crystal skulls, they are refining them. And it takes time. But you will begin to see them. They are coming your way, my friend. You will begin to see them. Just be patient.
Okay. Excellent. Thank you.
Okay.
Lital has her hand up again. She has another question. She'll hop in here. Go ahead.
Can I?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
Can you hear me?
Listen
Like
to
that?
me. Listen to
Yeah.
me. Listen to me.
Uh-huh.
Can I? You
May
can. Anything and everything.
Okay. Thank you.
People think they have, thank you. People think they have to, or they must, or they should. Throw that all away. You can't do anything. You should nothing. You must nothing. You have to nothing, but you can everything. Now, thank you. What was your question, my friend?
Okay. I have one question related to what I was asking before, but I also have another question about Earth. So I'll start with the first one. So there is a pond that it's located in Utah, and that pond was made because somebody was drilling to find gold and silver, and a bright light came out from this pond, and the 9 spaceships came out like in that night, and CIA and all of that. And then what happened is that along the way, he bought a ranch, and then he found out that people, when they go inside this pond, they get healed in some sort of ways, some of them neck pain or any other illnesses, because what they found out is the pond holds electricity and they checked the body biofield to see what happens. And then what happens also, not just in the pond, but also in that area, there's like a magnetic field energy that helps people to raise their body electricity. So let's say if my body electricity is 50 now, there it will go up to 85, which helps the nervous system and the immune system to actually calm down a little bit and helps the cells in the body to rejuvenate, but very fast, rapidly. So I was thinking maybe I could, I felt like this place is calling me, and I thought, and I'm going there just maybe to see if I can, again, center myself there and have this theta brainwave meditation that I do. And maybe there, with the help of the electricity of this pond, to probably, get my eyes or brain situated, healed. Do you think that's something that
you can do, something that you can do?
Yes, something that yeah, I can do it. That's the answer. No,
Would it be good for you to do that?
I'm thinking, yes. I'm thinking, yeah. I just don't like disappointments, I guess. But yes.
If you listen to me, if you
Yeah.
are thinking it will be good for you, then it would be good for you, because your
Okay.
thoughts create your reality.
Okay.
Go ahead, go there. Enjoy your time there. But at the same time, understand that you can get and gain that same electrical effect from anywhere on your planet Earth. Anywhere. Take 10 to 15 minutes time someday and just sit on the ground outside of your home. Just sit on the ground and do nothing. Do nothing. Within a few minutes time, you will begin to feel the electricity from your planet Earth. It is the same as it is in that pond. But if you want to go to the pond because you think it would be a good thing to visit that pond, go ahead and do it. Because yes, you can do anything you want to do.
Okay. Thank you. And then the second question is, I'm curious about the idea of the planet being is a hollow. And I've heard that there's an idea that they found on Antarctica a hole that can lead you into the planet, inside the planet, and there's probably a civilization from what I've heard. I wonder if that's true, and if so, who lives there, who resides in that place.
This is a nice story. But it is a story that holds a lot of truth, my friend.
Okay.
Because in your planet Earth, there is found another universe with the sun, stars, and all the rest. It exists in a physical and non-physical state of being at the same time. This is why people can see it, they can find it, they can be in it, because they are in the spiritual side of it. And they are seeing it spiritually, and then it becomes physical for them. There is a civilization that lives in the center of your Earth, yes. They are what you call the Greys, and some of those are also called reptilian beings. They exist within your planet Earth, yes. This is not a far-fetched story. This is a good, solid, real story. Just like your moon. Your moon is hollow. It has been brought to your planet Earth. It has been set into motion in its orbit around your planet Earth. Research the Dogon tribe. They speak of a time when there was no moon. How can that be?
Yeah.
Find out how it can be. Does that answer your question, my friend?
Yeah. And are there any maybe people that also reside between those reptilians and Greys in that area? Or it's only the Greys and reptilians live there? Like
For the most part, the Greys and reptilians. There have been people, but first of all, they are not very welcomed. And they know that they have no place there. But they have been there, but they don't return. So it is for the most part Greys and reptilians.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
Oops. Lisa, don't. Lisa, go ahead.
Hi, Reuben. Hi, everyone.
How's it going?
Abram. Hi, I'm okay. Abram, thank you so much for coming back and helping humanity. That's so beautiful of you to do that.
Thank you, but let me tell you something.
Yes.
It is a normal thing for me to do. You might think it is beautiful for me to do that, and oh my goodness, you are such a good being. But it is just a normal thing. And if you really look at things, you have come back to help people also. So maybe this is beautiful of you also. Go ahead, my friend.
Yeah, okay. I'm learning a lot from you. And there's so many things that I could ask, but I'm going to ask about my health, and hopefully other people can resonate with it too. And you've kind of already answered this a bit, but so I have multiple sclerosis and a gut issue and hormone issues and just a bunch of different things going on in my body. And I've been really working on trying to heal this stuff over the last 6 years. I mean, it's been going on for a long time, but I've been focusing on healing it.
Stop talking. Thank you.
Yeah.
First of all, don't work on anything. Have fun with everything. Life is a playground. Continue with your question.
It's hard to have fun with everything when you just feel like dying. I don't want to die.
I understand. I understand that.
Do you know what I mean?
First of all, you are not going to die. Not for a while, my friend. Well, then if you
I know, but
that, don't talk
emotionally-
about you don't want to die.
Emotionally, I feel terrible.
I understand that. And you do die every day. You die emotionally. The cells of your body die, but they make room and way for new cells. And as you die emotionally, those dead emotions make way and room for new emotions. So you really cannot die. Finish your question, my friend.
Right. So right now I still have a long list of different things that I could potentially do for my healing. And I wrote them all down, and I'm just surrendering them to my heart to show me what to do or not to do. Do you have any insight on this with your bigger perspective?
Give me 3 things you have on your list to do. 3 of them.
Okay, let me get it. I'm working with an osteopath, so if I should continue working with him.
That would be good. What else?
Working on my vagus nerve with an ultrasound stimulator.
That would be all right. Not necessary, but go ahead.
Taking supplements. Do I need to keep taking all these supplements?
What do you take?
Oh, there's a lot of stuff.
If you start that answer to my question with oof, then maybe you should consider cutting down on the supplements because too many are not good for the human body.
Do you really need to take any? Because I know, Reuben, you did the interview with Dr. Melissa. She was doing the Germanic healing, and she said that you don't even need to take supplements. So now that's kind of making me wonder, do I even need supplements?
You need them if you believe you need them. You get all of the nutrition you need from the foods that you eat. And what are you eating? What is your diet? Tell me.
Vegetables. I don't eat gluten or dairy. I eat a little bit of meat. But I haven't.
What type of meat? What type of meat?
Chicken, sometimes a little bit of pork, fish. Yeah.
That would be all right. Cut out the pork. Your body does not need the pork. Chicken and fish would be good. Organic chicken, fresh fish, not farmed fish. Fresh, wild fish would be good for you.
Yeah.
Your diet seems to be good. It seems to be all right.
Yeah.
Now,
what about
you can't keep your list. Go ahead, say it.
Sorry, sweetie. Oxygen therapy, hyperbaric oxygen therapy.
You must have some kind of list.
It goes on. There's more.
Is acupuncture on your list?
No, I've tried it a couple of times and I didn't like it at all. I don't like needles.
Why did you not like it? Why?
The guy left me on the table, it seemed like forever, and he left the room, and I was kind of traumatized by it. But I don't like needles.
Then maybe the needles don't matter. Maybe you should find yourself a good acupuncturist and go for sessions. This will get your energies moving in your body. When the energies move properly and freely, healing takes place. Now, I am not going to say, what did you have? What illness? Say it.
Lyssa, what was your illness again?
Oh, multiple sclerosis and a
Say
gut
it again.
issue.
Say it again.
Multiple sclerosis, gut issue,
Say it
hormone
again.
issues. Multiple
Say it again.
sclerosis, hormone issues, gut issues.
How does saying that make you feel about yourself?
Well, I've been saying it for so long. It feels like it's a story that I keep telling myself.
So if it's a story you keep telling yourself, rewrite the book and come up with a new story for yourself. All things in life seem to be. All things. All things in the universe seem to be. Why? Because everything is energy. Nothing is real in physical terms. Your body is energy. Rewrite that old stale book that you keep rereading all the time. And in the pages and on the pages in that book, write the words, I am health right now, and this is all I can be. And read that over and over and over and over. It is time to change your thinking. I understand you are having an issue with your body, but you can change it. You can change it.
Yeah.
Change how you think about yourself. Just change one thing a day, not a bunch of things, one thing. Change one thing about yourself. It could be anything. I am more creative. I have more love. Change anything one thing a day and do this every day.
Right. I'm doing that. Okay, I will continue. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you, Lyssa.
I love you.
I am not done yet. I am not done yet.
Okay.
I am not done yet. When there are problems, as you call them, problems with your body, first of all, there are no problems. There are only, always, and just creative opportunities. So you have a creative opportunity taking place in your body. Now, become creative with that opportunity. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah. Sort of. I think so. I have to let that sink in.
Let it sink in, but let me expand on that just a bit for you.
Yeah.
Become creative with that opportunity. Imagine it as being different ways. Well, yesterday I had multiple sclerosis. Today I have heart problems. Tomorrow I have an infection in my ears. The next day there is nothing wrong with me. And the next day I might have a sliver in my finger. And the next day there is nothing wrong with me. Start changing your thinking about your body and begin thinking that since it is an illusion and only energy, you can restructure the foundation of that energy to be what you would like it to be. Do you understand that?
Yeah.
Well, how are you feeling? How are you feeling?
Very emotional.
Good, good. Don't you think you would like to cry for a time?
Yeah. That's all I do.
Have yourself a good cry, but understand that when you cry, what you are doing is you are creating an emotional release for yourself. This is one of the best things you can do besides yoga for your body. Do you understand that?
Yeah. Yes.
Thank you, my friend.
Bless your heart, sweetheart. I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you also. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Lyssa. Will, you have your hand up. Go ahead.
Hey, how are you guys doing? Thank you so much for this amazing session and for being here. My question is similar-ish to the one before, but I think it has a different manifestation. I left my job a year ago, confident that something great would come along, and it hasn't happened. And it's been a really grueling time that has completely broken me. And it's been cyclical. There's been promising moments and then it's kind of crashed and crashed. It just feels like I haven't even hit the bottom. Like I'm still not finding work. And I feel great in my body. I feel good in my soul. I feel clear about what I want. And I feel very, very open to like a wide selection of opportunity. And yet it just seems
it just has not happened.
Yes, I'd love your take on this, and I know you're going to school me hard, so I'm ready.
No, I am going to just talk to you in a nice, comfortable, nonchalant way. Why do you think nothing has been working out for you? If you are so wide open, why is nothing working for you?
At this point, I believe it's a bigger rearranging than me.
All right, that is good so far. Thank you for that. What would be bigger than you?
God, the universe, timing.
Stop talking. Stop talking. Thank you. Define God for me.
The oversoul that connects all of us.
Would you like my definition of God?
Sure.
I'm
Sounds
going
like
to
you want
give it to you anyway, my friend.
That sounds like you want to give it to
My
me.
definition of God is nature. Nature is balance. Balance affects all life forms. Nature gives you everything you need, everything you want, everything you desire. Do you really believe that you deserve to have a good or better job?
100%.
100%. So there is something stopping you from getting that job. And it is not something bigger than you that needs to be rearranged or thrown away or sent to the moon. What do you think is stopping you?
I truly do not know. I've cycled through. I've tried on different hats. Is it me? Is it my outlook? Is it my? Am I tired? Do I need a rest? I've done many different cycles. At this point, there is nothing.
All right. And I suppose, of course, you have allowed the energy of that good job to come to you, right or wrong. That tells me a lot. Your hesitating tells me a lot.
Well, because I haven't seen it. So it's like, well, the good energy. I mean, I've walked around for weeks being like, oh, I'm fine. I don't need to apply for stuff because everyone knows I'm looking. It's going to be great. It's going to come. And then it hasn't come. So I've walked around with that, fully believing it. This is where like it's tested my spirituality, because I've walked around completely at peace with it's going to be great. I'm not worried. I did that for months. Alas, it did not come.
This is going to be great. I don't have to go out and look for a job. The job will come to me because everyone knows I am looking for it. So I am good. I am special. Things come to me and they seek me out because I am good and I am special. Maybe try this, my friend. Maybe try something different. First of all, see in your mind the type of job, the exact type of job you want. See it in your mind. Can you do that? Yes or no?
Yeah, there's a few elements. Yes, it's more than one thing. Yes.
I don't care if it is 10,000 things. Can you do that? Yes or no?
Yeah.
All right. Are you sure?
Yeah, 100%. I have the vision.
All right. Good. Yep. Good. Thank you. Now, if you can see it, can you feel the energy of it?
Yes, that's why I'm still attached to it. Yeah.
If you are still attached to it, then ask it to come to you. Invite the energy to come to you. You have been thinking that you have been doing that, but in the wrong way. So how, in a different way, can you have the energy of that perfect job come to you? How can you do that?
Makes me think it could be from the heart more than the head, although again that feels mental. That answer doesn't feel sincere to me. Why don't you tell me what you
will you stop talking and stop with the mental and stop with your head and all of that and function, yes, from your heart and from your instinct and with and from your love. And this is something you can do. Love. Here we go. Love yourself enough to invite the energy of that perfect job to come to you. Then take action. Feel the energy of the job coming to you. Begin acting as if you already have that job, because you do already have it. You are just not acting it. Do you understand me so far?
Yeah, no, like I don't understand what's different from what I've already been doing for months over the last year. Like I said to you, I did do that very wholeheartedly, and then I reached a point of like, oh, I'm deluding myself in a way that it's not having results. Like I did it for months, and it was open, and then I was like, oh, bank went to zero, couldn't pay rent. I was like, oh, okay, need to try on a different hat here, because this hat is feels like bypassing to me.
All right. So besides all of the things you have done, how wide open you were, how loving you have been, how inviting you have been, what is the one thing that you can still do to attract that job and allow you to take action to get that job? What is the one thing that you can do?
I'm not sure what the one thing is. I would love for you to tell me if you feel like you have a clear one.
I can tell you. It would be good for you to tell me, but I can tell you. Would you like me to tell you?
Sure. Yes, please.
with all you have done and all of the good things you have done, you are still playing the victim because you are not getting what you want. Unconsciously, you are playing the victim.
Yes, resonates.
Yes. So what I would like to see you do is you can use meditation, or better than that, hypnosis.
Mm-hmm.
Get into a hypnotic state.
Mm-hmm.
And get to your unconscious mind, not the subconscious, your unconscious mind, the part of the mind that deals with all of the abstractions of life.
Yeah.
And in the unconscious mind, get rid of playing the victim.
Mm-hmm.
Communicate with your unconscious mind and basically tell it there is no need at all anymore for me to play the victim, because I cannot be a victim. Simple as that.
Yes. Thank you. That's big.
Now, don't take me yet. Don't try to do this, because people try to do things and things don't work out. Well, I have been trying for months and months and months and it has not worked out. Stop trying and just do it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So get to the unconscious mind. Have a nice conversation with it. Change that. Get rid of that victim game. Write the rules of a new game, the freedom game, the I have what I want now game. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yeah.
Don't try that. Simply do it. And you will have results. I guarantee it. So how does that sound to you?
It sounds really great. I really appreciate that. Thank you. Yeah.
Oh, well, thank you
Really.
also. I appreciate you, my friend.
Thanks, Will. And I just messaged Will. I said, I'm working on an episode right now.
Now, where there's some good techniques using virtual reality to help put us in this sort of trance state, sort of self-hypnosis, and I can share you with some information with that. So that could be helpful. We're running out of time, so I don't know if we can get to everybody, but Jasmine, go ahead with your question and we'll see how long it goes, and we'll go ahead.
Okay. Hello. I just wanted to know, because I know recently, we had some declassified documents come out about Nikola Tesla being Venusian, that he was brought here. And, of course, that has given rise to the fact that there's probably a hybridization program going on with this species. And so I was just wanting to know if you have any information about the Venusians and maybe why this energy is coming so strongly to the Earth at this time.
The energy is coming so strongly to your Earth at this point in time is because the universe is opening up to your planet Earth and giving your planet Earth what it needs energetically and emotionally. And you will be hearing more and more, not only about Venus and the Venusians, but the Pleiadians and those existing in, let me say, Orion.
Yes.
Also, the Arcturians. You'll be hearing more and more about those civilizations, how they can benefit your planet Earth. But in order for them to benefit your planet Earth, your government has to really change, which it does not look like it wants to, not yet.
Yeah.
Because it has to control everything and everyone. They cannot control Venusians, Arcturians, people from the moon or other reality. They cannot control anything, but they are trying their hardest to do that.
Okay.
So the best thing you can do is create your reality the way you would like it to be, and let it be that way.
Yes, that's exactly
and
what
never
I'm
mind all of the craziness going on in your government. It will keep going on, so just leave it alone. It does not matter to you.
Oh yeah. I don't concern myself with the workings of the government. I was just wondering, if there's going to be like more awareness coming out about, how long they've really been here, and just about, I know it's going to come from the people. I already know I don't trust the government to release that kind of information, but I know it's going to come more from the people. And I was just wondering if there was just more that you could elaborate on, because I have been, getting a lot of messages about that as well. And I was just interested in, I guess, your perspective.
How do you get your messages about that?
I channel as well.
All right.
I'm connected to a Nocturian collective, and I've been, like you had said, channeling kind of was, I was born into it, but I wasn't fully able to access it in the way that I am now until I did quantum healing hypnosis, and it seemed to kind of unlock that frequency, that ability in me. And so and I've been getting a lot of, different messages about this, and a lot of this also coming in my awareness from other groups as well. And seeing, as far as like that Nikola Tesla himself was Venusian, and, all these things coming into my awareness, and making me see just how much they really have been in our society, and that this information is now finally able to come up to be recognized. If that makes sense.
You'll hear it from people. You will hear the information from people.
Yes.
But understand one thing. When people give information, it changes.
Yeah.
It does not stay the same. So the best thing that you can do, since you are a channel, is channel the information for yourself. Record it, write it down, do what you have to do.
Okay.
Because all of that information is available to you.
Yes.
Stop thinking that you can channel only to a degree. Do you understand what I'm telling you?
Yes. Yes.
And start getting out of your way and get out of the way of the source or sources that you channel. As you people say, let them do their thing and mind your own business. Do you understand that?
Yes. Yes, I do. It really, really resonates.
This is a rough and tough way to talk to you, but I think you need it.
Yes, because I can doubt myself sometimes, and that's how I get in the way.
It is all right to doubt yourself, but doubt yourself this way. Well, I think I will have a pancake for breakfast. I don't know. Maybe eggs, maybe toast, maybe just water. I don't know. Doubt yourself that way.
And not in the information that I'm receiving.
No,
yes.
No. Even if you think, well, this came from me, this is hogwash. I made all of this up. There is always truth to it. Do you understand that?
Yes, I do. Yes, I do.
So let it be what it is, my friend. Mind your own business. Get out of their way. Let them do their thing.
I definitely will. Thank you so much.
Absolutely. Thank you, my friend. I love you. Enjoy your day.
Thank you. I love you too. Thank you.
Thanks, Jasmine. Abram, are we okay with
One last question?
Absolutely.
Okay, great. Angelica, go ahead.
Okay, hi. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're a little low. Maybe speak a little bit closer to the mic, or
I'm sorry, my voice is not good because I have a bad trapped throat, so I'm a little sick.
Stop talking. Stop talking right now. Stop talking right now. Thank you. Don't ever say my voice is bad. Say my voice is a voice and everyone can hear me.
Okay.
Don't buy into the reality or the idea of having a strep throat. It is an idea.
Okay.
And you can change the idea. You don't have to have a strep throat. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Unless it serves you.
No, it doesn't.
Then get rid of it. And you can do that.
Yes.
Lemon water, 1 ounce of lemon juice, fresh lemon juice in 8 ounces of warm water, 3 times a day. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Vitamin B12 and 1 dose of zinc a day. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Now, what is your question?
Okay, it's very personal. I'm growing through my spirituality and have a lot of experiences lately, especially. And I was having a lot of lucid dreams. And one of them took me to a place that I met this energy. And he was a voice of a man. He spoke to me and he told me a lot of good things that out of the blue, that I could turn my life the way I wanted, whatever. And at the very end, he says that he loved me and he was my Adams. He says, with love, I'm your Adams. And I keep wondering, and I keep trying to go back to connect with this energy, and it didn't happen again. So I'm wondering who he is. It was a male voice, very vibrant, very strong. And I know as much as I get happy, it make me confused. I'm trying to understand the message.
When you have lucid dreams, many times someone will come and take you out of your body and take you to a place at which and in which they will tell you things and teach you things about yourself, your life, the universe, and everything else. Do you understand me so far?
Yes. Yes.
The voice was of a male.
Yes.
This male entity exists in a different dimension of your present reality, or what you think is your present reality.
Mm-hmm.
This is a good thing. In your dreams, before you go to sleep, suggest to yourself that you have another dream in which you can meet with him again. You will have to practice that. In time, it will turn into a good dream. Your inviting it will turn into a good dream, a real dream, another dream that you will be with him in that dream. And he can teach you and tell you more about yourself and everything else that you need or want to know about.
Okay.
Names mean nothing. He can give you any kind of name. He's your this, he's your that, does not matter. Just think of him as your friend.
Okay. I will do that.
You are on to something good with your dreams. Keep it that way, my friend.
Yes, it's been wonderful. It's been amazing. It's amazing, beautiful experience.
So let it be that way. You can have more of those dreams.
Yes.
Suggest that you do have more of them.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I will do that. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Enjoy your day. I love you also.
Thank you. I love you too. Have a good day. Thank you all.
Thanks, Angelica. All right. Well, Abram, I appreciate you sharing
All your knowledge and information with us. And I guess we're ready to bring Tom back when he's ready, when you're ready.
All right. All right. I appreciate you. I appreciate all of you. I love all of you. All of you have a good day and always have fun with whatever you do. Thank you.
And he's back.
I'm back.
Hopefully we didn't exhaust you too much.
I'll be okay in about a minute.
Okay. Excellent. Excellent. So I had
in my newsletter, I put your website there. You offer private sessions as well.
All I've been focusing on is doing private sessions on Zoom for people.
Okay, great. Well, we'll put your information
in the replay for this and on the website. And just thank you for sharing with us. I'd love to know, before we go, a little bit more about your partner, Susanna, right? And how do you guys work together? You said she's an intuitive as well, and I know she comes in on the calls for the YouTube, but how else do you guys work together?
Yeah, she's been a medium for a little over 20 years. Well, she's right there. She can tell you herself if she wants to.
Susanna, you want to come on and
tell
us what
sure.
you do?
Sure. I started having ET experiences when I was 9. And so throughout my life, I've had a lot of different experiences. A lot happened in my dream state. I've been, I know I've been out of body and on a craft several times, being shown how they run the craft, how space and time works and moving objects, and going into different dimensions. So all of this was a prelude to doing mediumship readings professionally, which began 20 years ago when John Edward came out with his show on the We channel, and it was Crossing Over with John Edward. And I said, I can do that. I can absolutely do that. And at the time, I didn't know, because I don't join groups or go by anyone else's standard on what they're teaching. I have always done everything myself and taught myself. So I said, I know I can do this. And so I began developing, and all of a sudden, spirits were coming in, ETs were coming in. You know, I'd wake up with a gray standing next to my bed. So I was developing all of this and starting to do readings for friends, not family. They don't believe in all of this. I'm the oddball of the family. And then when Tom and I got back together after a almost 35-year break, Abram has helped me so much and has been my friend and my mentor. And so now Tom and I work together. We work separately. I do private readings for people. I do want to mention the two things. John Rolfe's, the past life of Tom's that came through him when he first was channeling.
The Shakespeare guy, or
Yes,
this was okay.
Yes, John
Okay.
Rolfe, the Shakespeare guy.
Right.
So when I retired from FedEx and I was working at a automobile parts warehouse, and I was taking care of all of the Amazon orders, and Tom and I had been talking about John Rolfe's maybe a couple of days before. And so one of my orders that came through, the guy's name was John Rolfe. I was like, I thought that was pretty cool. I forgot what the other. I'm sorry.
Nice confirmation and nice synchronicity.
Yeah. So, this is just what we do. I'm writing a book. I have about 3 chapters left. It's called Living Beyond Death. And it's started out because I'm also a certified end-of-life doula. And I spent...
Oh, what's that? An end-of-life doula?
It's the opposite of a birth doula. I sat with people who were dying.
Oh, okay. So
And
kind of a hospice type situation?
Yes.
Okay.
Unless laws change where doulas can be put on insurance, it's hard, especially in Florida, to make a living doing that. And so I spent 4 years with hospice and doing volunteer work with hospice and sitting with people who were dying. And I decided to do that because I've been on one side. I've been having spirit come in and connecting with the people, the sitters, my clients, whatever you want to, there's different ways of speaking of people that get a reading from me. Mm-hmm. And I thought, what would it be like to be on this side and see what happens during the death process? I don't believe in helping somebody cross over because the body knows what to do. The body knows how to die. The body knows how to leave. And so people that like to help people cross over or help them leave their body is, in my opinion, is not necessary because people know what to do. We've been dying for a very long time. And so I thought it was a different way, a different perspective of seeing the death process and seeing what the soul does, what a person's essence does. And so the book started out about death and dying and how we die. And it's morphed into mostly about consciousness and the consciousness of animals and the consciousness of the earth. And I had a lot of experience with Alzheimer's patients, with people in comas. People have come through, families have contacted me to try and get in touch with somebody that's in a coma. They are in and out of their bodies all the time. And also doing readings for people who have lost pregnancies, whether through abortion, miscarriage, or stillbirths. So a lot of information comes through about the souls that were attached to or the mother or that body and their reasons for choosing that kind of death. My readings.
What are some, I'm just curious.
Yes, what are some of the reasons? If you could, without, I don't want to take up too much of your time, but I'm just fascinated with.
One woman who had an abortion and this happened over a period of 3 readings. So she would get a little bit of information from the soul and then more from the soul, the second reading, and then the big shebang on the third reading. And she was so guilty about having an abortion that she traveled to India to speak to a yogi and be absolved of her guilt and to help that soul move on, which is not necessary. She didn't understand that she went to India for herself.
Right.
And the soul was with her during that short time in her pregnancy for her to understand. I don't want to say lessons. I really try and stay away from lessons, but for her to understand life and to understand herself and to get in touch more with her own emotionality. So that was that soul's purpose for doing that.
Guide.
Yes. Yeah. And sometimes in a pregnancy where there are twins and one twin dies, I've had 2 readings where the twin came in just to escort the other one into this life.
Wow.
And that was their purpose. And so they died in utero.
Interesting.
I'm telling you, it's all about love. It's all about love and helping each other. And so much of that comes through in readings for people and people who have experienced abuse and trauma in their life. People come through and help them work through that.
Sure.
Just by the emotional connections that we have made in our lifetime and what we have gone through. And people in spirit, they're here to help.
Absolutely.
They're here to help us.
Wow. Well, thank you for your work and
your contributions and working with Tom and Abram and all of this. Sounds like you guys are definitely doing great work in the planet and in the world. So we'll make sure put links for everybody for the replay. But I encourage everybody to explore Tom and Susanna's work. So thank you both for coming on today and sharing such great wisdom.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Thank you for having us.
Great.
Thanks for tuning in. Hope you like this interview. We actually do this every week on my membership portal page. You can access it through interviewwithed.org or click on the link somewhere in here. I'll put a link and come over and join us. You too can ask questions. Every week we have new special guests and you get to ask questions directly to the channelers and to the beings that they channel. So see you in the portal.